Hello again, everyone. Hope you're having a good weekend. It happens to be the weekend that I'm doing this little thingy with you. I'm getting hooked on it, actually. However, if the intentions are good, you will always enjoy what you're doing. And the key to success is one of the keys to success is that you must enjoy what you're doing. If you enjoy what you're doing, it will become easy. And when something is easy, maybe you like to do more of it. And when you do more of it, perhaps you become more successful and make more money. On the question of money, let me ask you, how have you made out in regards to choosing something for yourself to do in life? Do you have a plan? Have you chosen a small business for yourself? Or what is your future, immediate future plans or startup future plans? Wow. Did you know Do you know what I'm drinking? It looks like mud, doesn't it? But it's not. It's probably, most definitely, is the best, most delicious, natural, organic, without sugar, without water, lemonade that you could have ever had. And I'm going to give you the secret at the end of this conversation how to make that. Mm. I used to make this for my son when he was a little boy, and when his friend was visiting our home on the weekend, and I would be in charge of, food and things like that. And this was one of the goodies, and they also told me this is like the most wonderful lemonade they've ever had. Anyhow, um, want to remind you about some of the things that are going on internet, which could entice you and encourage you or enthuse you, make you excited about and getting involved with. But I always caution you to make sure what you're about to embark on, you've researched it well and you're at the comfort level that this thing is as it sounds like to be. And always remember the golden rule. If it's too good to be true, it probably is. And never forget what I shared with you last time, the wisdom of the ages. Remember, all the wise men got together for years and they brought this much to the king, and the king said this is too long, and so on. So what was the wisdom of the ages? If you don't know what it is, you got to go back to the section that is titled for financial security. I think that's what I called it, financial well-being or financial security for our old age, something like that. So cut the long story short, so the key word was the wisdom of the ages came to one sentence, and that one sentence was there's no free lunch. There is no free lunch. Remember that. There is no free lunch. So no matter what and who proposes and offers you something that is so wonderful that's going to make you successful and make you money, unless that person is your family or someone that you really, really somehow can trust, you got to remember the golden rule. There's no free lunch. And if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Now, let me share with you some of the things that I decided to investigate a little bit, or at least, look into it. There are many different internet opportunities that are being floating around. Emails come to you that click on this and no click and no dummy or dummy proof or whatever, you just pay me $47 and then you'll click this and you make money thousands of dollars every day. I'm sorry, but they present it so wonderfully that even an old horse like me, old war horse like me, could actually get into to see what the heck this is. That after 58 years old, I never heard it anywhere, but a 20-year-old guru of some kind making six-figure or seven-figure income, as they say, and they advertise themselves. That's how they advertise. I'm a 20-year-old and I'm making this much money, and so on and so forth. So I'm not making fun of anyone who's 20-year-old. In fact, I'm doing all these things for all my younger friends, similar age to my son, so you can all have a good startup and be a little bit wiser than you would normally be. So it's not the age that I'm making fun of, it's the fact that that's how they use that youth and that kind of out of the ordinary situation. Say, I'm 20-year-old only and I'm making this much money, so you got to trust me, you got to come in. I was a programmer or this and that. I spent so much money and now found out that if you do this and if you do that, and they never tell you what it is. They just say, if you do certain thing, and they show you all these checks and these amounts that they're making over the every night. And then at the end, they say, I'm going to give it to you for free. And I quickly remember, every time I hear the word free, I remember that there's no free lunch. There's no free lunch. I keep telling myself. And if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So some of them come and say, okay, you buy this package, it's my software, and if you click this here, click that here, and then and then every night you get this, and they show all this. And then there's another one comes on and shows a beautiful mansion, and then a Ferrari is rushing up to it and stops there, comes out and tells you, don't do anything, stop everything what you're doing right now and listen to this. And they're all authoritative voices, very strong, dictatorial, to do what I say. So they hope to create this kind of a trust for a leadership role that they try to present themselves. Again, don't budge. Just enjoy the theater. And funny enough is, in some of the videos that I compared against each other, just to see what these people are all about, because they really sound convincing, that I give you this formula, this app that I made, and then you click here, click there, and then you make $700 a night, $1,000 a night, and $5,000. Now I have $2 million. In one of these productions, I saw a few weeks after one production was done, and I was impressed, and I said, wow, gee, really, maybe I'm so stupid. Maybe these guys are all got it figured out. Then suddenly, same mansion was used, and different car, but same mansion, same kind of rooms, same exact rooms, in fact. And the guy had a little longer hair, same color, but I had the two versions still on my computer. So I compared the pictures. One of them had a little nose that was a little bit shaped differently. The other one was totally different. I said, okay, maybe he got rich since then, since the last video, and he got a nose job. How do I know? I can't doubt the guy just because the nose, maybe he just figured it. And then I looked and said, his mouth is a little bit bigger. Well, I said, well, they all have a big mouth, so it's really not something to be surprised. And I looked at the eyebrows, and I looked at the ears, and I looked at the posture, and I looked at the height. I said, these guys getting richer and getting taller. What's going on? So the guy who was portraying himself as the same guy that he did this offer a year before, so to speak, and helped 1,200 people, and now he's trying to very secretly and very limitedly, he heard this over a table. Some people were talking, they were programmers, and he heard the research, and they were making so much money, and then they left the room. So he got up and he looked at their computer and he wrote some things down, and he got in and then had his devised the program better. And so this story was such a soap opera, reminded me of the East Indian movies, which are really rich in the story, and they capture you with their stories, and these guys are trying to do the same. So I enjoyed listening and watching it until I actually figured out that this is just another production. Now the question would be, and there are many of them. One of them keeps telling you, I'm going to give it to you free. 100 times the word free. But at the end, you say, you gotta buy a hosting program. And then it affirms the wisdom of the ages that there's no free lunch. Anytime you're listening to any of these things that they say, I'm going to give you to free, unless it is a free sample of something clear, like a book you're buying, like a product you want to buy to eat, and they're willing to, if you put your email, and mail you a sample of it. Or like the way some of the authors or some people who have written ebooks or any kind of a book, they may offer you sample of the table of the content. That's how I market my book on the ClickBank. They put their email in, and then there's a download of there's an email will be sent to them which will have the table of the contents, and they can look at the table of the contents and they see if the material and subjects are according to what they would expect. Then they can go on and buy the book. That part of a free thing is acceptable. It's a sample. But if somebody tells you, I'm going to give it to you free, a program free, so you can make thousands of dollars every night, it doesn't jive. First of all, if one is making a successful trade and results in $1,000 a night or $2,000 a night and so on, or a day, why would he be interested in limiting the number of the units that he is promoting for sale? In other words, this is hush hush, nobody should understand, so I have only 150 of them that I'm going to be. So 150 times $49.50 that they usually sell this, that's really not much, is it? What is it? It's like 7,500. 100 times 50, that's 5,000, and then 50 times 50 is 2,500, 7,500. So they're doing all these production that probably cost them a few $1,000s. They're doing all these things and all these efforts and interviews and traveling and showing off this and that to make $7,500, where they could actually be making $1,000 a day out of their own program, which they say they have been making for the past few months, and they are now millionaires. So why don't you continue and become a multi-millionaire? I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I would do that. And you want to help some people? Fine. Pick them up and give it to them. Or, you don't need the money that you make in 3 nights or a week, the way you've calculated it. It's more than the money that you would be making from selling 150 of these units at $50 a piece. So it doesn't make sense. And so one of them ends you up telling you free, but at the end it wants you to buy a hosting program and pay the hosting 6 months in advance, so they make their money and their commission from that end one. The other one says, I made a program that you can do option trading, and the option trade is all automatic. You plug it in, then it's free. I'm going to give it to you free. This is like thousands of dollars of our money invested in this precision product that you can just choose the right option and put your money in and then you try to figure out where the heck is it that they're going to make money off of it. It has to come out in their conversation, in their presentation, and eventually you see that they say, but you have to deposit a certain amount to the brokerage that we recommend. So that's where the money is. And to be honest with you, I was on the edge of actually saying, well, this is good, this is legit. It's stock market, it's options trading, and this program tells me when to call and when to put. Okay, and it says 100% accuracy, which is too good to be true. But I'm no saint, and I can be fooled too. So I decided, okay, I'll try it. They say $200. I'll try it $200. So I tried, but I'm very skeptical. Unless I was like this at school too. I had to ask hundreds of questions until the students get fed up. But I had to ask those questions to be sure. And that's how I learned the art of Aikido as well. I had to ask so many questions to see how this mind and body coordination works. And is it real, or is it just under the influence of so many greatness here and so on in the training hall? And of course, that was very true. And I continued and became a style of my life, became my lifestyle. Aikido is a wonderful, wonderful art to practice, especially the way that you can develop your mind and learn how to strengthen and develop your mind just as we go on to strengthen our body in the gym, we got to know how to strengthen the mind, because most of the challenges in life is mental. It's not necessarily all physical. However, not derailing from that. So anyhow, I decided to go ahead and maybe put it to $200 and see what happens. So I was smart enough, or at least that I don't want to use credit cards for these sort of things, because I don't know. I'm sending my credit card somewhere that I really don't know about the whole thing anyhow. So I would say, how else I can do that? Well, they said you also have an option of wiring the money from your bank to our bank. Fair enough. So I'm looking for the address. There is no address. There is no physical address. You want to wire money somewhere, you got to have a physical. The bank will ask you for a physical address. So here I am in the bank, and I can't see a physical address. And so I call them up, find a number there in their site, right in the bank. I'm calling them up, and it's somewhere long distance, I guess. Or they had a 1-800 number. So anyhow, I asked them, what is your ad? Okay, there was a chat line on their site. There was a live chat. So I hooked up in that one, and telling them I'm in the bank trying to send you some money, so how does it work? Before I go to the bank, the night before, I chatted with them, and I said, how does it work? I had some questions, and then the response came, see how professional that was. That was their biggest first mistake. I said, deposit the money, my friend. Somebody will call you and tell you all about it. That language, when you're a brokerage of some kind, which they introduced themselves as one, the site was all numbers going back and forth, and typical look of the brokerage firm. You don't say, deposit the money, my friend. It sounded more like a mafiosa. It's deposit the money, somebody will call you. So quickly, I had my doubts that this is not a language that a professional company will say. At least the helpline would have said, oh, sir, I'm sure once your account is active, somebody will call you right away and explain the whole system with you. I mean, that's what I would expect, at least. So that brought a little more light bulbs on my head. So what's going on here? Now, getting back to the bank thingy, so I'm now chatting up with them that where's your address? So they give me address. They tell me, wait, I'll get my supervisor. Now, imagine this. You want a physical address of a place that you're about to send money, and they've talked about this is a brokerage house, and you do option trading, and it's supposed to be so organized and all computerized, and they didn't know their own address. So eventually they gave me address, and the address was in Bulgaristan. The address was in Bulgaristan. I mean, nothing wrong with the Bulgaristan itself. It's just part of the beautiful, Asia, and wonderful, and the people are warm and friendly and so on. That's not the question. But the fact that they're advertising here they're on the market, and I'm sending my money to somewhere other than Canada or US or somewhere that is close by to me, and it's way out somewhere, and the question would come, Bulgaristan, last I checked, wasn't the hub or a center of financial center of the world. So I'm thinking, why would it be in Bulgaristan? Right away I'm thinking, okay, so they want to be away from any kind of laws that would be governing in Canada and United States or whatnot. So they've gone to Bulgaristan. I said, okay, well, it's part of Europe. That's I'm sorry, did I say Asia? Did I say Europe? I'm confused, but I think it's either way. Don't worry about the geography. So anyhow, it is in that neck of the wood. And I said, okay, that's where they are. And then I noticed that's the address of theirs, but their bank is in Romania. So their bank was in Romania, and when I asked them for the address, their head office was in Bulgaristan. That shook the heck out of me. I said, "Oh, this really sounds more fishy than the, tuna." So naturally, I did not do the deed, and I stayed away from sending that kind of money. But my experience from the past few weeks, which I set out to try all these possibilities and listen to what they say, and to have a little report for you guys to perhaps, if you don't have, your hair is not as white as mine, or at least you have some left still. You may not have the experience, but I thought perhaps I can be of some service by helping you to understand that making money is not supposed to sound like you do nothing and you make money. And if it does, again, it's too good to be true. But it is not impossible. It's wonderful. And if you do it right, you can learn things, you can teach people, you can make money, you can be helping people, and you can make money legitimately. All these things that there's nothing wrong making money easy. I'm all for it if you can. It's legitimate, legal, and easy. Why not? But if it sounds too good to be true, you have to realize that there's no free lunch. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And eventually it's like wasting your time, because you eventually going to go back and do it the right way, which means have a product and sell it. And talking about sale, that brings my 2 bits of the plug, and that is www.maximumwillpower.com. If you go there, you will see that there is a description of a book written about how to become a super salesman. Armed, powered, and poised. Put your email and name there. A sample of the table of contents will be sent to you, and if you like it, then you will buy it. That was my plug. The whole story was for this plug. You understand that? We have to bring the ranking of the site up. So you got to present it through YouTube and all that. We all know that. So it's always good to be upfront and honest with people, even if you're trying to promote. Nobody is a dummy. Everybody is respectful, and I respect you to be listening to these, but I offer some information so you could also be enjoying it by learning a little bit more and doing better for your life, making better decisions. But at the same time, I'm a businessman, and I like to promote my book. Now, so remember, my friends, don't go round and round and eventually come back after having wasted so much time, ending up having to do things right, which you could have done it way long ago. But after wasting your time now, you find out that I still do it the right way. I got to relearn how to sell. I got to do a good selling job. I got to build a clientele and have a good product, and then I sell it, whatever that may be. But whatever it is that you got to sell, you got to learn how to sell. Secrets of how to become a super salesman. MaximumWillpower.com. That's where you're supposed to go. Now, it is exactly like if you want to, let's say, I don't know, eat this pomegranate. Some people try and say, what am I going to do with it? So I'm going to squeeze it and then maybe suck the juice out of it. But it's so hard. After squeezing a lot, they give up. They say it's not possible because that particular one was too hard. Some of them are pretty good and you can do that. So what they do is they try to cut it in half. Now they cut in half, it's just juice. There's already a little bit of it squeezed in here, jumps out. They cut it in half and they try to get it out, and they get their hands all messed up and so forth. So they try so many things to learn that right from the beginning, they should have simply cut it in a few pieces and have it like, just piece by piece, or just have a fork and put it in here and half it and tap on it to have the seeds or the pieces to keep falling out. Then you spoon it out and eat it. The point I'm trying to make clear, which I'm not doing such a good job at it, is perhaps can be cleared for you in this little anecdote. My father was a lawyer, and he, in talks that we had, he passed away a couple of years ago, And in talks that we had sometimes, he told me a joke, many jokes, but one of them was this one. He said a man stole some money. They captured him, took him to the court, and the judge said, you have three choices. You can either get 80 lashes on your back. That was the old times. They did that then, God knows when. You can either get 80 lashes for the crime that you've committed, or you can eat 3 kilos of onion, or you can give the money back. Which will it be? Give the money back, or have 3 kilos of onion, eat it, or 80 lashes? The guy says, giving the money back is out of the question. And, lashes. So he says, okay, I'll have the onion. So says, okay, they brought the onion. So he says, oh, onion, 3 kilos, no problem, no, I keep the money. So he started biting into the onion. The first bite, the second bite, oh, it's impossible, I can't do that. I'll take the lashes. So they lashed him. The first lash, second lash, I give you the money. So the story is that he got the lashes, he had the onions, and he gave the money back. So the moral of the story is, do the right thing from the beginning. Don't go round and round, try to go for too good to be true stuff and fall for nonsense and so on. Do it right, do it legitimately, learn, educate yourself, and make a real substantial business on the right foot. Best foot forward. So don't be someone who will end up getting the lashes, eating the onion, and pay the money. So do the right thing from the beginning. Go get yourself trained. Learn what to do in life. Have an ambition. Learn how to do what you like to do in life. And you make sure you like what you're going to be doing. And then also learn to sell. www.maximumwillpower.com. Have a nice evening. And my recipe for this, which I promised you guys. 3 apples, 1/2 lemon, the lemon with the skin, yellow, half. Of course, the apples should be big. If they're small, then you got to adjust the amount. So 3 apples, 1/2 lemon, juice the apples and juice the lemon. But the best trick would be 1 apple and then put the lemon on top of the apple and the second apple on top. So the lemon will not slide out and it'll be juiced out, and then you juice the last apple. So 3 apples, 1/2 lemon, you'll have the best lemonade in the world. Have a nice evening. Thanks for watching and wish you well. Good night.